also be using Amanda's video throughout my video so she can tell her own story in her own words. But before we start today, we have a sponsor, which is...
Hi, I hacked Drew Gooden's YouTube account because honestly, we need some new faces on this website. Now, all of my longtime subscribers are probably like, oh hey dude, where have you been? Why have you stopped posting for like 3 years? And the answer to that is... nothing. Now, I've got the idea to reboot my channel from watching people like Drew Gooden and Danny Gonzalez, which is why I decided to hack Drew Gooden's account. And as you can see, I am filming this in a car because I am way too embarrassed to be heard doing this inside of my house. Okay, so now let's get into the real reason why you clicked on the video. True crime. I like to spend my free time, well, some of my free time, at least, watching people like Brooke McKenna or Eleanor Neal, because I like the way they, treat the cases that they talk about. They treat the people, the victims and the families of the victims, like they're real people. And I do admit that they do have their, maybe you shouldn't have done that moments. But for the most part, I like the way that they talk about the victims like they're real people and not some nameless side characters on Criminal Minds or something like that. Doing true crime as a genre, I'm sure, is something that would require you to have a very strong stomach and an even stronger state of mind. The amount of creators that I've seen that show genuine care and compassion to not only the victims, but the families of the victims is great. Sometimes the cases that have either been intentionally or unintentionally hidden by the media would never be discovered if it wasn't for these true crime documentary YouTubers, which I think is a really big positive that has come from the true crime genre in general. Try saying that 5 times fast. But when you take away all of the good things that I've said about true crime, you get the people that talk about the cases they're presenting like they're doing a video essay on an episode of CSI. Like, come on, dude. You're talking about a real murderer who killed like 20 people. Why are you comparing him to an anime boy that you liked when you were 12? And of course, you can't mention bad true crime without mentioning this is a case that doesn't sit right with me. It shouldn't sit right with you. It's a murder case. Hearing about people dying and getting kidnapped shouldn't sit right with anybody. Like, why even mention it at that point? The main thing about those types of true crime YouTubers or TikTokers or whatevers is that they turned the genre into some kind of tea spill situation. Like they're running a celebrity gossip page instead of talking about the brutal mass murdering of children. One prime example of this would be the makeup and murder subgenre. These are people who record themselves doing a full face of makeup while talking about the very real murders of very real people. Christopher Andrew is truly a sick monster. He is nothing but a senseless killer with a dark soul. But not as dark as this mascara that I got yesterday. Okay, so this is the Color Mates Lengthening Mascara. Now, I don't personally, watch makeup videos in general. Yeah, I'm just not interested in that kind of content. I don't even mean that in a pick-me-girl kind of way. I'm just genuinely not interested in makeup videos, for the most part. But I feel like that doing my makeup while talking about something genre would only work if you're running a celebrity gossip channel or a product review channel, something like that. Definitely not something where your entire job is talking about disgusting and terrible things that happen to real people. This one is kind of in the same ballpark, I guess, but the people who do outfit checks at the beginning of their videos, see, for years at this point, I always thought it was, really tone deaf to be like, hey guys, welcome back to my true crime channel where I talk about true crime. Today, we're going to be talking about Ted Bundy. But before we do that, Look at how cute my jacket is. Like, to me, it always seemed a little bit disingenuous to be doing a cute little fit check right before you get into a video where you talk about how a man brutally tortured his girlfriend to death because she rejected his marriage proposal. I always thought that I was just being chronically online, that I was reading into things too much. But luckily I found out that I am not the only one who thinks that way. And that it is genuinely disingenuous and weird to be talking about how cute your outfit is right before a true crime video. The point that I'm trying to make is that true crime isn't a tea-spill genre. These are real murder victims, real kidnapping victims. These are real killers and kidnappers and rapists and whatevers. Like, everything. Everything is real. Like, I can't stand the people that treat true crime and, like, people's real stories, real trauma, like it's just another episode of Drama Alert with Keemstar. Like, don't treat it like that. It's not like that. It's real. It's not fake. It's not like a true crime drama. It's real. Okay? So don't treat it like that. Another thing that kind of really irks me about this true crime thing in general is that 80% of the time people don't ask the family and friends of the victims or the victims themselves if they're still alive, like if it's okay to share their story with thousands or even millions of people. Some of the victims and some of the families of the victims have publicly stated that they do not want these true crime girlies making money off of the backs of their dead or traumatized loved ones, but they can't even respect that. Some true crime listeners have even gone as far as to call these people selfish for not wanting to be re-traumatized over and over and over again just so that the murder and makeup girlies can have some tea to spill over on their little podcasts. The last thing I'm here to talk about today is the tasteless jokes and the tone-deaf, completely out-of-place sponsorship segments. Most people, or at least most people I know, are reasonable enough to understand that YouTubers have bills to pay, and they not only do that with ad revenue, but they do sponsorships and brand deals. And I generally find most people that complain about YouTuber sponsorships like really annoying, because just fast forward a little bit. No one's forcing you to watch the video from start to finish with no pausing or skipping or anything. Just skip it. Sometimes, however, the complaining is very justified.
The victim keeps questioning everything. Victims will never forget what happened to them. It makes you feel like your entire existence has been wiped away. So why should the victims feel so small when the perpetrator seems to be able to retain their dignity? The female victim walks out of this with less dignity and less rights than the male perpetrator. And netizens were left wondering, what's the difference between a roundhouse kick and a sashimi knife? I am out here lurking on your social media accounts whenever you guys tag me on stuff, and so many of you guys are so freaking talented. Get Shopify. Get Shopify. Get Shopify. Mr. Van Hook had been Catherine's 6th grade teacher. She was 11 years old. Now a word from our sponsors, BetterHelp.
And it's crazy to think that the only reason he got caught was because of what the police found in his search history. But maybe he wouldn't have gotten caught if he was using NordVPN. That's right, this video is sponsored by NordVPN. And the jokes, oh my god, the jokes.
Probably had a stink, right? All I can think about, like how bad he probably smelled, which is mean. Is it? No, because it's probably true. He probably stunk. Sir, you stink. You smell like roadkill, you know? Like, she left Jeff by himself at the family home. So he was living there by himself for a minute, which not good. I mean, he's 18. What do you think if you leave an 18-year-old at the home by himself? What do you think he's going to do? You think he's going to be productive? Yeah? No. He even found a job at the Milwaukee Blood Plasma Center fitting. I just don't know what happened, man. I was just like hanging out. I was just gonna drug and rape him, and I woke up and he was dead. So weird. Someone must have came in, you know? Just own up to it, you dick, okay? Tell the truth. I know you're lying. You remember. You remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Cracking jokes while talking about a murder case. Do better. There's a whole entire can of worms that I haven't even opened yet. And those are the people who romanticize real murders. Romanticize it.
She's really into like true crime podcasts. A ton of girls are into that. I feel like their fantasy is, I feel like every girl wants to almost get murdered by a serial killer. Obviously you don't want to be killed. Here's what you want. You want to be hot enough to be targeted and clever enough to escape. I think that's, yeah, there we go. But have you ever been in like a haunted house and they're like, shh, I'm gonna get the next guy. You're like, whoa, what's wrong with me? I'm cheap. I don't know. I like being scared. And I think it's fun.
He is correct. I want to be hot enough to be targeted, but clever enough to get away.
Hello, this is me from the future, the next day. After I filmed this, I didn't talk about this in the video for some reason, but, like, that video, like that comedy sketch video, and the comment implies that people that have been targeted by serial killers and died were not smart enough or not clever enough to get away, and that's just not it. I can't stand for that. But I feel like that would be better for a different video, because I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked into that a lot, and I'd rather save it for a future video that is, like, more longer and more in-depth. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Feel free to leave your own opinions down in the comments. I want to see what you have to say. And if anything I said in this video was way out of line, way off base, please tell me that, because I don't want to make a video that spreads misinformation or offends people. And yeah, I'm gonna go edit and upload this video before Drew finds out that I hacked his YouTube account. I'll see you when I see you. Bye.